Hey guys, well, as I've talked about before, I have brought on Dale Hassard. He's from UR, and I came upon UR about a month or so ago when I had come to a point in my training where sports drinks, sports products, nutrition-wise, really weren't working for me because of dumping syndrome, which is the result of my gastric bypass, and I would get really sick from them, or I was also dealing with a little bit of hydration from Gatorade and stuff like that. So I kind of backed off, and then I found UR and went home and tested it and found that not only did it not give me any issues, but I was actually better with it, and I had consistent energy and everything during my workouts. So I emailed Dale and started a conversation with him, and now we've kind of been talking, and so he agreed to come on and talk a little bit about UR. And so Dale, thanks for coming.
Appreciate it, Chris. Thanks for having us.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about what UR is and what you guys are all about?
Well, we're a startup company based out of the Chicagoland area, actually out of a suburb of Chicago, Batavia, Illinois. And we're about 6 months old now in terms of actually having a commercial product on the market. But we've been in trials and product development now for a couple of years. The company consists right now of myself, my wife, and my partner. And together, my partner and I have roughly about a little over 40 years of experience in nutritional products, working for different nutritional companies over the years. And that includes product development, sourcing out ingredients, developing relationships with packaging and raw ingredient suppliers. So we're pretty well connected within the industry so that we are able to stay more or less on the cutting edge of product development, marketing, understanding the different distribution channels. And that's really been the driving force behind starting our own company. We have a passion for developing nutritional products that we think can help improve quality of life for people, whether they're involved in exercise or athletics or just generally improving life quality through nutrition.
Awesome. So what is different about Driven, which is the one product that you have at this time, but what is different about Driven than any other product that's out there? What makes it better than anything else?
Well, I think before I focus on the benefits of Driven, I think what I'd really like to call out is the research that we did leading up to product development to try to determine what we felt were going to be, or to confirm what we thought might be the most important or relevant benefits to people who would use a product like that. And we did some pretty extensive research with regard to trials and some focus group testing and interviewing of various types of consumers and athletes of all ages in order to determine what we thought would be the most relevant performance benefits or nutritional benefits for a product. And what we discovered along the way was that there were 3 really critical performance inhibitors. The first being gastric distress. And you can call it a lot of different things. Some people refer to it as bloated stomach or nauseousness, or I've even heard the term gut rot. You'd know it if you had it. Mm-hmm. And that can be a serious performance inhibitor. And then the second performance inhibitor, and I guess this would be kind of in the order of importance, would be energy delivery. People run out of energy, mid part of a competition or training, or they'll run out of energy during a race, primarily due to not taking in the proper nutrition for a number of different factors under that proper nutrition, or what's improper nutrition, which I can discuss in a second. And then the third thing is muscle cramping. I know that that's a common occurrence for a lot of athletes, particularly those who are heavy sweaters. They're prone to more electrolyte loss or sodium loss, which can lead to muscle cramping. There's some debate in the nutrition community as to whether or not electrolyte depletion leads to muscle cramping. I think that for the most part, there's a strong association with improper sodium intake or loss with muscle cramping. And so what we tried to do was to look at how we can create nutritional products that would improve that, if not eliminate the whole issue of muscle cramping. So those are really the three critical performance inhibitors that we identified. Along the way, what we really thought we would focus in on was the idea of stomach emptying or gastric emptying. And we believe that one performance inhibitor, if it was properly addressed, could create opportunities to address the other two performance inhibitors. If you're taking in a sports drink or nutrition during your training or during a race, and it's not properly emptying from your stomach, it's not going to get to where it needs to go to provide the benefits that you need.
Yeah.
So that's an important issue, and that ties into kind of a big word that I guess I'll help to define it and try to explain why it's important in trying to address it, so that you can try to alleviate some of the problems with gastric emptying, and that would be osmolarity. There's three different kinds of sports drink solutions. There's hypertonic, which is typically going to empty very slowly from the stomach and draw water from other areas of the body, which can cause bloating in your stomach, and it can cause upset stomach. At the other end of the spectrum is hypotonic, and hypotonic is where the solution is too diluted. It's almost all water. It doesn't really have a lot of nutritional benefits to it. And in the middle there is isotonic, and that's really where you're kind of meeting the osmolarity, or trying to equalize the osmolarity of a solution to the osmolarity of blood. And without getting too technical, blood osmolarity is about 280 osmos. So if you can find a solution that matches that or close to matches it, then you're going to be able to reach a point where that solution can pass freely back and forth between membranes in the stomach and other vital organs and muscle tissue. So you're going to be able to get the solution out of your stomach and carry all the constituent nutrients into the areas of the body where they need to go to provide the best performance benefits. So trying to create a solution, a sports drink solution, that has the right balance of nutrients, that gets as close to blood osmolarity as possible, creates gastric emptying, which allows that solution to come out of your stomach and perform the way it's supposed to perform. And a lot of sports drinks currently on the market, to the extent of maybe all of the sports drinks currently on the market, are heavily laden with simple sugars. And that's really one of the biggest contributors to gastric distress, because again, if it increases the osmolarity, which sugar does, then it's going to draw water from other areas of the body, leading to dehydration. And not only that, trapping all the other support nutrients that could be part of that sports drink, like electrolytes. So if the electrolytes are staying in the stomach, and they're not being delivered effectively to the muscle tissue, it's not going to help with regard to muscle cramping and proper hydration. So when you look at that, you try to put together what you feel is going to be the best carbohydrate ratios. And again, a lot of the sports drinks on the market, most if not all of the sports drinks on the market, are focused on different types of simple sugars, anything from fructose to sucrose, and also maltodextrin. And maltodextrin is not a bad ingredient, but combined with simple sugars, it's not going to be as effective as if you can provide both short-term simple sugars, mid-term more complex carbohydrates like maltodextrin, and very complex carbohydrates altogether can help to reduce the osmolarity of the solution, hence promoting gastric emptying so that it delivers the nutrients. So really, gastric emptying and nutrient delivery are kind of one and the same thing. One kind of is predicated on the other or benefits the other. So if you can create that right solution, then you can effectively deliver other nutrients to the body. Now that ties in directly with energy requirements. Athletes need to have a steady amount of energy throughout their race, throughout their training. So for events like you do, you've heard the word bonk, or maybe just kind of a crash. one of the detriments of intake of sugar is going to be that you're going to go through sugar crashes. It'll give you a real spike in energy almost immediately as your body releases insulin to try to digest the sugar, but then you get a real low afterwards. And so what a lot of athletes do is they find themselves constantly trying to keep up just one step ahead of the crash, taking in more sugar, but not too much, because then you're going to get the gastric upset issues. So they're trying to define this, they're walking this fine line between gastric upset and sugar crashing, and trying to find the way that they can harm themselves the least effectively, instead of really trying to find the right nutrition that's going to benefit them the most. So you want to have some simple sugars in your sports drink, because that will create better amounts of blood glucose, which is going to transfer into muscle energy. But you don't want it primarily to be simple sugar. You're going to want some medium chain carbohydrates that are going to give you midterm energy after that simple sugar is used up, and that's where the maltodextrin comes into play. And then the longer chain carbohydrates that are more complex carbohydrates, they're going to be stored as liver and muscle glycogen, which is basically your muscle fuel that eventually gets broken down into a component called ATP, or adenosine triphosphate. All sugars, carbohydrates, they become glycogen and then get broken down into ATP, which is basically the fuel for your muscles. And you want to have a steady stream of ATP throughout your training, whether it's for a half-hour workout in the weight room, or an hour and a half ride on your bike, or maybe a half marathon, triathlon, whatever. You want to have a steady stream of nutrients. And if you can get the solution out of your stomach and into your bloodstream, then you're going to be able to create opportunities for steady stream of muscle energy throughout your workout or throughout the event that you're competing in. The next most important point, again, with regard to energy, is to create those opportunities for your body to have the right amount of energy delivered at the right amount at the right time. So again, gastric emptying tying into that, but nutrient delivery of electrolytes too. If you can't get the electrolytes out of your stomach, then you're going to struggle with hydration issues. And if the water is being drawn from the muscles into the stomach, that's going to exacerbate hydration issues. So getting the solution out of your stomach so that the nutrients can be delivered where they need to go is going to allow sodium, potassium, and magnesium to be delivered into the muscle cells to prevent muscle cramping.
Awesome. So let's say a large part of my audience is getting ready to do their first 5K, and also on top of that, they're trying to lose weight at the same time. Why would they benefit from a caloric drink going in? Like, where's the benefits of it? Because I know that some people would say, well, I don't want to put calories in me when I'm trying to burn fat and everything else. Like, where's the positiveness of putting something in you? Where does that come through?
Well, I think what we believe in more than anything is calorie efficiency, nutrient efficiency, and if you can create nutrition opportunities that not only provide calories but efficient sources of calories, especially while you're in the midst of running a 5K or training for a 5K, you can do so and still be at a calorie deficit where you're burning calories. You're actually burning more calories than you're consuming, which is going to speed up the metabolism. It's going to create opportunities for weight loss and burning fat and so forth. Calorie density and calorie efficiency are not necessarily the same thing. You want to try to have nutrition that is efficient. In other words, it's going to provide the right amount of energy. The more efficient it is, the less you're going to need of it in order to benefit from the nutrition itself. So if you can consume a sports drink solution that's highly efficient, you're not going to need the density of calories or the total amount of calories to get the performance benefits. So if you can reduce the calories and increase the efficiency, you're going to get better output from your body. You're going to be able to put more into it at a higher level of intensity for a longer period of time. And so then as a result of that, you're going to burn more calories than you consume.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we've reached a long time. I think we're well over 10 minutes now. And so we'll wrap this up. But I did want to talk a little bit about these. When Dale was talking to me and I said, man, I wish there was a way to get people, this is the do you call this a tub or a
canister?
Canister. Okay, we'll call this a canister. I said, you know, anybody that's going to buy a canister like that's a full out commitment. And so he said, well, let's get some samples together. So for you guys, we have samples, and you can go to the site youaretheanswer.com. Try a sample out. This is for 16, 20 ounces worth. And it actually has a coupon code on it for a discount on the website if you order a full canister if you like it. And if you like it, let us know. Either send something through the web page or through our Facebook page. Just look up U&R. So thanks again, Dale. I appreciate you coming by and talking, and hope this isn't the last time we hear from you.
I hope not either.
All right.
Thanks for having us.